Salutations YouTube! Today I want to talk about physics, but don't worry, it's not physics you do at school, like chemistry, biology and physics. It's physics as in the solid structure of something, whether it's a house or other item. And the best way of doing this is to talk about it and show you at the same time. So what I've done is I've rezzed the building here. It's one of the buildings from the 1867 game. It's one of the shops, and this shop needs people to access it. Let me show you by playing the game. If I play the game and walk my avatar towards the shop, I really need to get my avatar inside that shop in order to start buying things that will be inside and on the shelves. So I'll quickly just stroll over, and you can see at the moment, yeah, the shop has been built so you can go inside and outside. But there's a problem. The problem is the shop is actually made out of mesh. It starts its life looking like this, a mesh unit, before I start putting in windows and shop fronts. And you see at the front there's an open area, but you can't get your avatar into the shop. There, look, you see that even though there's a big open area, the avatar will not go in, and that's a consequence of using mesh. The buildings look fantastic in 1867 because they're all built in mesh and all random, different size windows, different size orientation, different orientations, different heights and lengths and widths and interior angles. And the reason why the buildings just look so haphazard and random is they all start their life looking like this, a mesh unit. The problem with mesh is that it hasn't got physics, it hasn't got structure. The software just assumes it's one large rectangular cuboid, and it doesn't actually acknowledge that there's a face cut out of the mesh surface. So the first problem is that you've got to open up the front of that surface, and the only way you can do that is to make the entire mesh non-collidable. So when the whole mesh is non-collidable, you can actually walk through it, but then you want to actually make sure your avatar stops at the walls and doesn't walk through the walls. So the next problem is how to accompany that, and that is to do this. Build a unit of Roblox blocks that match the building and add physics to the building. So you can't walk into the building now because it's blocking away. And I've put some blocks here for the walls. I made them wheat with concrete texture, and to show you the physics more easily, I've made those plastic with red texture. So those plastic and wheat coloured blocks are the actual physics of the building, and they are what give it its structure. To help you understand a little more clearly, I've actually made the red blocks semi-transparent because I've cheated. I've used the wheat coloured concrete blocks to be the interior walls of the shop, and there you can see the interior walls are made out of Roblox blocks, and they are all concrete material coloured wheat. And there you can see the physics or the structure of the shop has been made by the red plastic Roblox blocks, and there's a gap there where you can go in and out of the door. So when you combine them all, you combine the physics, that's the Roblox parts, and the mesh parts, you end up with something that looks like this. They are exactly the same thing. We've got the physics shown in red, as well as the interior physics shown in wheat concrete. And I've also actually made the floor wood planks. So by combining all of those and finally setting the physics to be transparent, apart from those wheat coloured concrete blocks that have been made visible, it ends up looking like this. And here is the final product. Those wheat coloured blocks made of concrete, you can still see they form the interior walls of the shop. The front of the shop, although it's now set to non-collide, those red plastic Roblox parts stop you from walking in and out of the front of the shop. But now you know the secret. There's a gap here where there's no Roblox parts, and that's the part that allows you to walk in and out of the shop. So that's how we achieve the right physics for the buildings, even though the buildings were actually made out of mesh units. In fact, they start their life looking just like this. And that's how they come to me originally, looking like that. And eventually, after putting in the blocks and parts, I can get them to look like this. So, a little background about how we add physics to the buildings so you don't end up smashing into the collidable mesh parts, or if the mesh parts are set to non-collide, then the parts that are Roblox parts, that's these parts here, are placed within to actually allow you to walk through the door but not through the walls. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. If you do enjoy that and find that interesting, and you want to find out a bit more about some of the things happening in the 1867 game, then please do subscribe to the videos. But until then, I'll say goodbye, and until next time, bye!